Hello again everyone, Melth here, with more of my Baldur's Gate 3 challenge run, details of which are in the YouTube video description. I've just hit level 12, so I'll be talking about my level ups this time and my build strategy and so forth, and I think I'll also be doing one giant battle to see if I can pull in all the Flaming Fist and Steel Watch that are on the big first floor of Wyrm's Rock Fortress. Should be pretty epic if I can do that. As usual, watch out for spoilers throughout this run. Alright, so we are in Wyrm's Rock Prison right now. We were going to rescue Floric, but we couldn't stand another moment of her company, so she's dead. There are plenty of Flaming Fists and Steel Watchers up on the level above, and I'll think about how I can try to pull them all into one battle, because they're split up among 3 different rooms, I believe, which should be a pretty interesting fight. But before that, as you can see, I've just hit level 12, so it's time to do my level ups and also, of course, some shopping. As I've mentioned before, because I can't long rest on this run to reset merchant inventories, the only chance that I can do that is when I level up. Go to each merchant after that. So this is my last chance to get merchants to reset, basically. Better make good use of it. So my main character is Ballista, and is mostly a lore bard with now about to be 2 levels of warlock. Bard is, as I said before, just the best frontman class in the game, and it's not even really close. Now, Swords Bard is very, very powerful and would have been a strong contender, but for this run I wanted to do a lore bard, partly because Swords Bards get a lot of their power from their very limited number of slashing flourishes, which if you're resting all the time is just great and you can spam that out. But for me on this run where I'm not doing any long rests, wouldn't be as good. I decided I wanted the sustainable damage of having 2 levels in Warlock instead to get Agonizing Blast and the Potent Robe to add my Charisma, which is now currently 22, to my damage 2 times per beam and so forth, for a large amount of sustainable force damage. So I'll take back Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast. I used to have them, but as I mentioned in my party build video, I respec temporarily to be 10 levels in Bard, 1 level in Warlock, even though it's a little bit less powerful, just because it let me do all my setup in one video and it was therefore a real life time saver. For Warlock spells, I guess I could take Armor of Agathis and, get some temporary hit points that way. I wouldn't get that much use out of the melee damage counter with it because I just don't get into melee 99% of the time. It's getting warm here, so I've taken off my jacket and I put on for Ballista the Ring of Geniality there, giving me the best possible prices at this point. I've got, I believe, plus 15 persuasion. So with merchants who have given money to make them like me, I can now get perfect prices, where I buy and sell things at their actual value. I haven't, of course, done that with Pauper here, he's not that important a merchant, but I have with some others. That's been key to maximizing just the vast amount of riches that I have in scrolls, consumables, and things like that over the course of the game. That's why I can outfit my summons with elixirs and stuff like that. I've talked in previous videos about the best consumables that I try to buy whenever they're available, and I've done most of the big item shopping for Act 3 already, so I'll be skimming over most of this stuff.
It's like a good moment to
I'm going to stop by Bumpnagel here and buy a couple more flash blinders because I had to use more than expected in that previous Steel Watcher fight due to something quirky happening. I've remembered that I've taken off the gnome dexterity boosting gloves, so I don't have to look like a terrible gnome anymore. That's nice. I better remember to injure myself again a little bit to get Loviatar's love active. There we go. Loviatar loves it when birds peck people. She's an Alfred Hitchcock fan, through and through. I think I remember back at the beginning of the game I might have paid to make Mattis like me on one of my various faces.
I didn't realize Baldur's Gate was so big.
I was right. So I can sell things to her at perfect prices and likewise buy them, but I don't particularly want what she's selling by and large. It's only now occurred to me how shockingly low value rings are in this game. This ring has a ruby on it and it's only worth 18 gold somehow. I forgot that going to Baldur's Gate itself heals the party and also purges off disguises and things like that. I'll injure myself back to where I was once I've done all my traveling, per my challenge rules. We can check in on Balin Bonecloak, who we cured of his insanity earlier.
Haven't seen you since you cleared up me old noggin in the...
How their store is doing here depends on their choices back then.
Thanks to you. If I hadn't run into you in that much...
If you keep the noble stock for yourself, Dareth will be here, but will just whine endlessly about how that'll ruin the store, although she's still selling pretty good stuff.
Fled in the night, and haven't seen her ugly face since. For the best.
Both of them are awful people to each other, so probably for the best that they split.
Only the finest. And to thank you for your good help, I'll take a...
Although he says he'll give you a discount. Like most merchants who have reasons to like you in this game, they don't actually change anything. Oh, he still has his pack from earlier. That's funny, with the items that we didn't take out of it before handing it over to him. Huh. Haste spores, we love those. That's why I always check every alchemy merchant every time I have a chance, because if you do that, you can get a few haste spore grenades over the course of the game. Not many, but they're worth the trouble because they're so good. For a big party like this anyway. I've been stockpiling things like Remove Curse all game, because there's lots of places in Act 3 where you might want that. I probably have enough now, but, you know, worth checking at least. Yeah, I just checked. My stockpile is insane. I've got like 30 scrolls of Chain Lightning, 7 of Global Invulnerability, 14 Remove Curse. I have over-prepared, I think, in terms of buying scrolls over the course of the game and saving them. No harm in doing that, of course, when I'm buying and selling them at perfect prices, which I've been doing since Act 2. So, I didn't lose any money buying extras. I can convert them back into a perfect amount of gold at will. Well, Astarion is the next one who's fairly easy to level up. He's my primary single-target damage dealer. You know, being a Gloomstalker Ranger plus a Thief Rogue, he has a lot of attacks with his dual-hand crossbows. And now taking a second level that is, into Spore Druid, he can give himself an additional bit of necrotic damage while he has Symbiotic Entity active. So that's just really great for enhancing anyone who has a large number of attacks. Well worth it on some warrior builds at least, once you run out of other classes to take. Now, Karlach's level up was not entirely easy to decide. Taking something like Wizard 2 and picking up a Wizard subclass could be worth it in some cases. But I think for a party with this many summons and so forth, that I'm going to want to have access to Hero's Feast. So I'm going to take level 11 Cleric mostly for that reason. You know, getting access to another Cambion could also be okay. I haven't been too impressed with the one that summoned from the Infernal Rapier so far, but, you know, they're not bad summons either. Oh my gosh, I gave her terrible prepared spells. I'm glad I noticed that. This one is occasionally worth having for certain emergencies when a party member gets stunned or things like that. There aren't many ways to fix that, and you can't have scrolls of this as far as I'm aware, so having someone have it prepared just in case is, you know, occasionally good insurance. Alright, one last level up. Now, it is pretty tempting either to have Minthara continue as Druid to 11 to another person who can cast Hero's Feast, so as to maybe free up Karlach to not do that and instead summon a Cambion. Or I could take Wizard 2 and maybe go something like, say, Transmuter to double all the things I can produce with alchemy and so forth. But, as I recollect, earlier in my challenge run it had a level of Cleric on it before having to re-spec for various reasons, and part of my challenge run rules includes that I'm not going to be radically changing my build, just reordering things, so Cleric it is, even though the other ones would probably be better at this point. I think the pick is probably just Light Domain. This defensive feature is really quite valuable for helping to negate enemy critical hits and things like that. What we're really here for, of course, is just having another person who can cast Bless and Command. Those are just endlessly valuable spells at any point in the game, really. Alright, so I finished shopping, finished leveling up, and finished injuring myself back after the travel between the Baldur's Gate region and this region gave me a heal that I don't want per my challenge run rules. Now, I thought about casting Hero's Feast as I talked about, and I do want to cast that pretty soon. But I think I'm actually going to use my 6th level spell slot to summon a Deva instead. And then, not too long from now, I can get some quarterstaffs that will let me cast 6th level spells for free, basically, and I'll use my slot at that point, once I have that summon done, to get everyone that feast buff.
The fire starts.
Can't very glazed up,
Our enemies still draw breath.
My friend needs to say
Devas are pretty good summons. They're very durable. They can take a lot of punishment because they have high hit points and good armor class and resistance to a lot of damages too, so that's good stuff. They fly, very, very helpful. And I'd say, like, best of all, they have massive built-in initiative. They just have, for some reason, a racial +4 bonus to that, which makes them really reliable at going first. So I don't have to give them an elixir to make them actually go first. So I can give them an elixir of something like Cloud Giant Strength instead, or Heroism, or to make their saving throw effects more likely to hit. I can give them Battle Mage's Power, I think. So you've got options. It's pretty good. I think, though, I've talked before about the Broken Promises Hag Potion. So it's an interesting item where it gives you a +2 strength bonus, but then you end up with a -2 penalty forever the next day. Except if you kill and revive the person, then they lose that -2 penalty, so they get a +2 bonus for no downside. Pretty good. But you can also just give it to a summon or something like that. And because no one in my party uses strength, that I think is the ideal thing for me on this challenge run. So I'm going to go ahead and have the Deva drink that. So now has a effectively free +1 to all its attack rolls, damage rolls, and so forth today. I could give the Deva an Elixir of Bloodlust, and it'd be an okay user of that, because it has, a decently strong attack. So I will probably now cast a level 5 aid spell. That will keep my birds and things like that alive quite well. Interesting, he kept basking in Loviatar's love. I wonder if that'll go away if hit points change or anything like that. So, oh, there we go. Now he's lost it. All right, take his clothes off and have the Raven peck him again. Stand by. Okay, there we go. Wow, I've left a swimming pool of blood on the floor there from being pecked by that bird, and no one minded. I should remember to have Astarion activate his new ability.
I've been seeing the flames. We're still here.
So on goes Symbiotic Entity, and we get some extra necrotic damage we'll appreciate. We're about to lose concentration on everything when we go into the Baldur's Gate zone, so I'm going to just cast a cheap magic weapon scroll onto Astarion here, rather than a high-level spell slot version of it from Minthara.
Breathing.
So, last episode, I had talked about my plan being to come back here and fight the Wyrm's Fortress first level and so forth when I'd antagonize Gortash, because there are more active Flaming Fists at that time, so I thought it would be more challenging overall, compared to right now when they're kind of spread out and isolated and don't help each other. But it occurred to me there are a lot of Steel Watchers here now, and so it might overall be a more challenging battle now than it would be then. So I've been trying to find a way to fight all these guys here in Wyrm's Fortress together in one epic fight. But despite all being one military unit, that should logically be one big encounter if you aggro one group of them, the rest fighting you too. These guys don't care if you're killing their companions, unless you very carefully engineer one big fight. I think what I'm going to do now will probably get us the one big fight that I'm hoping for, but, we'll see. So, we'll need some speed to get people pulled in together, I think. So let's have you drink Elven Elegance. Let's have you drink Elven Elegance. Then I'm going to split off Astarion because he's fast and pretty deadly, so he can probably rejoin the others after aggroing a distant group over here. Then I'll split off this Water Myrmidon because, again, it's fast and good at aggroing people. And has good initiative. And then the rest of the gang
Are they going to arrest them?
will be going over here where there's a plausible reason to accidentally end up starting a giant fight. Alright, now there's a guy here who will be stealing from his companions and trying to desert. So we will try to have a misunderstanding with him that leads to violence here, which is a plausible outcome of the scenario anyway if you are less good at dialogue checks than my characters are, but I'll just make sure it ends up that way.
What are you doing in here?
You notice the gnome slip.
So he's stealing from them because he plans to then desert, having taken their money. What a jerk.
You're not a
and we would easily report them to the other guards if we wanted to, but we'll happen to just choose the one option here that leads to them not siding with us.
No! Wait! Why did you have to stick your nose?
You've got.
Got to attack before he gets away, or he won't be in the fight. Wait, why did the Woodwood attack the guy? What? Like, he must have provoked an attack of opportunity? Okay. Weird stuff. Also weird, that person actually won initiative against, like, almost all of us here. That's a very lucky roll, and also she has literally superhuman dexterity somehow or other. Well, we are going to Ice Blast the 3 of them. Over there in their night clothes, I guess. Now, I want to start off pulling in people from other areas together, but one thing to watch out for in this game, as we've experienced with things like the mushroom fight and so forth, is that initiative from multiple different battles joining together is completely broken and insane, and they'll skip people's turns completely at random sometimes. So we need to be careful, or we'll just lose our turn entirely with maybe an entire army. So before pulling battles together, make sure you've done your turn so you actually, don't end up having your turn stolen, basically. Alright. I'm going to shoot this arrow to kill off that target up there in one shot, guaranteed, I think. There we go. So that starts a fight over there.
Are they going to arrest us?
Everyone pulled in? You're in? Yeah, I think that pulled in everyone in that room. Great. Over here, you are going to fire at that guy. Get out of the way, random waiter or whatever you are. And can we aggro that one too? We'll try it. Well, we got 2 of them. This guy will be tougher. Maybe Astarion will be needed to pull that guy in. There's also these guys out there on the edge there. One thing I want to do is hunt down people who can counterspell, because Flaming Fist has a lot of those, and they cheat hard. They will counterspell through walls, beyond counterspell's range, when they're not in fights, when they're blinded, when they're silenced, all kinds of loony things. That was one of the counterspellers down. They've got another one out there that maybe Astarion can take out, and then I think that the guy who was trying to sneak away is also a counterspeller. So we're going to deal with that.
From here.
So we can then properly do our setup. Well, we've got Bloodlust on you, so we should probably find a way to use that. Who else can help just with minor attacks to set up for a kill here? That will probably work, and then I bet that the Deva could get the kill. Its attack is pretty darn strong. That will activate its Bloodlust. Very nice. And I think that you, the person to beat us in initiative, should be the next target. Can we hit you without falling on the ice like a dummy? I guess it was riskier than I thought it would be, but yes, we did it. And we missed, though. That's fine. There's still one counterspeller out there to watch out for. So, if you try to do Eldritch Blast now, you might just end up being countered and failing for that reason.
Unleash me.
We could maybe take you out with just firing off basic attacks from people like Minthara, who's one of our least important attackers.
Smell blood.
You've got a basic attack you could do too. Oh. Okay. If you tried to go for it, there's a high chance of getting counterspelled, but I guess we might try it anyway, really. It's a bit of a waste. If they counterspell, we'll get out haste. Okay. They chose not to counterspell for whatever reason. If we kill that person, that will then end this fight and give us free turns that we don't want to have. So, instead, I'm going to see what else I can do to not just waste my turns here.
All right, Karlach, it's go time.
I do want to pull in people that are out there. Maybe I will do a spike growth here. We want to try to make them run through a terrible, terrible gauntlet of obstacles to get to us. Perhaps I would have normally done a bless, but we might in this case want to instead do like a wall of fire or something like that. And normally I think you do the wall across the door, but I think it's actually more efficient to do the wall outward from the door. It might even aggro some people. Although we better, I guess, get people out of your way first for that to work, huh? We could have you just like, shoot people from over there and maybe that'll aggro them. It's worth a try. Pretty please? No. Okay.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
What if you go over there, and then I'm gonna, this feels very wasteful, because it is very wasteful. I could have you dash. Do you have any kind of bonus action attack that we can do? I could drink a potion of speed, which is just horribly wasteful. We'll just see. Are you gonna counterspell this, or can I attack you there? You're not counterspelling that. Please get pulled into this fight. I'm not trying to get free hits and kills here. Okay. What can I do to not get free hits, but yes, fight everyone, if they're just that pacifistic? Previously, that approach had worked. Well, a lot of shots at you pulled you in, whereas like one didn't, maybe. You're not healing. That's something. I guess if I could have killed these guys in one round, that counts, because that's how the first round would have gone or whatever, but I want them to get pulled in officially rather than just unofficially being shot to pieces as they would be. There we go. That pulled in that guy. Okay. Now what about you guys over there?
Yes.
Is there a way that you can throw a grenade or something to antagonize them? Maybe. That seems difficult. If we teleport there, we'll take a bit of damage. I'm gonna do that anyway. Just for the hope that will allow me to pull in these guys. Pretty please. No. How will we get them to care?
My victims await.
Maybe Astarion can do it. He's got these guys.
Keep guessing.
He now has that guy. No, you're not ending his turn now and making him a sitting duck, game. That's what they're doing. They're ending his turn and making him a sitting duck. That doesn't even make sense.
One day I'll catch a
Oop.
break.
That wasn't what I was trying to do either.
My turn. Aye.
I can have Astarion teleport in with a Misty Step scroll. And so this blocks the door for enemies while also hitting people that walk out there. So it's a little bit better than the more obvious, like, horizontal across the doorway wall, I think. But is there seriously any way that you can throw a bomb out there or shoot a smoke powder arrow or something and get these guys to care? Okay, this is a horrible waste. What if we just summon like a mage hand over there? Will that, being that it's a new critter in that sector, there we go. Okay, I had to get really creative there to make that work. Now she's kind of a sitting duck. Okay, well maybe I can now pull in this guy into this fight. Or maybe not. You can get burned there. It's a risk we might have to take. Whatever. Okay, what if you ice blast those guys? Will that make it one fight? Maybe that'll make them have a harder time getting to Astarion too. because I don't want him taking a ton of free hits for no logical reason. I've got ice in their way at least now. Alright, you're gonna get burned, I think. That's okay. It's annoying, but it's okay. No, you didn't get burned. We managed it. Now that's all one.
Come on. Can't stay idle.
I guess we're now allowed to kill that guy's in the room with us, because it's all one fight at this point. So, hop on over there, Woodwood. Can you get to him? Yeah, Woodwood! Didn't quite get the kill, but good hustle. Getting in on the action for once. What if this ends the fight? I'm going to save just in case this ruins everything. We've got weird stuff like some people being yellow units here. Okay, didn't work anyway. You only have fists equipped, right? So yeah, you can't really hurt that bird. But you might be able to throw a weapon in your turn, so we're getting out of there now. Okay, so which of us will actually be free hit attacked by the enemy? I guess we'll find out. That played the fight is over sound, but the fight continues, so that's a good sign. I guess I could shoot that guard over there. My least useful summon. Because you can't drink an elixir. That was pretty good. Well done, skeleton. Okay, Steel Watchers. Here they come. Alas, poor mage hand. Okay, so Astarion is getting shot up for free, which is a nuisance. The ice melted there immediately, Why did that happen? Okay, yeah. So I'm taking free hits in this run where I can't heal. I don't like that very much. What are you throwing anyway?
Where are the others? I'm calling for backup.
Good, backup would be interesting.
Please be patient.
Well, you're not actually doing anything.
We were rescuing.
Alright, well, it didn't get too bad. He wasn't free hit by all these guys in here at least, so that's, you know, something. I could easily invisibility my way past them or throw a flash blinder at them and that would stun them. So here we go. We will throw that. Stunning them. We are going to need some bonus actions to teleport around and stuff like that. If I many target arrowed you, would that bounce to her and maybe take her out? Worth going for, I think, because as the last counterspeller, she is a potential issue. Didn't quite get her. It did bounce to her at least, so that's, you know, a good sign. We will fire off that shot, of course, just because we can't do special arrows with it. Okay. It is weird to me how out of order damage, things like that have gotten in this game. Fine, we're going for it. And then I've got Scrolls of Misty Step. Go. I'm clicking. I'm clicking for a reason. Alright. A very inefficient Astarion turn.
Ready for battle.
Now, I was able to prove that there is a path to fly around here, I guess, but I'm not sure there's one that I can trust to not cause trouble for me. Although it feels bad to do, and it's a big waste of time, I think I'm going to actually close that door. Or not. Okay. Yeah, that gets the door out of the way at least. And then maybe I should turn off the... Oh. Oh, wow, that was a nuisance. Okay. Alright, we'll give Astarion some soul branding. And maybe we could also throw out a potion of fly for the party members that can't currently fly. Then we're going to wait for other people to come to us, I think. And I'm going to basically just pass the turn from here. It's really inefficient, but yeah, I don't have that much else to do while enemies come over here to me. And that will allow us to get in and out of this room, theoretically without scorching ourselves every single time. Okay, so you can fly. And you can fly for your next turn.
Your command.
This time.
And can you do an ice blast out of the steel launcher there? That looks like it works. Yeah, we appreciate the free hits. Wow, we are really trashing this fortress. Sure, it'd be a shame if there's an invading army coming this way.
Unleash me.
Right, might as well have you go into stealth or whatever, and just fly over thereabouts, and you can maybe lunge out and get someone next turn. Sure, you stealth 2, you stealth 3, whatever. We're just passing a lot of turns here, waiting for enemies to come where we can battle them and use our wall of fire and things like that to crowd control. Yeah, we'll take every little bit we can get. Okay, Steel Watcher. Crowd controlled. Kind of. Okay, he found us at least, but, you know, he did have to waste his turn on that. So that's a good way to disable a enemy for a turn. These hopefully dash in and join in the fun. Jumping, okay. And he'll be able to get through to us soon, but not now. Now, it is a bit of a problem. We have this guy here who will blow up on us soon. We don't want to be standing here when that happens. So you're going to teleport on out of there. Why isn't it... Come on. How many times do I have to click the teleport button before you teleport? So yeah, get out of there. We could raise a fire him. You know, he resists that, but it's still okay damage. And it's the best that the Camden can do. Then we'll fly out of there so we're not blown up by him. You're doing a fine job with your spike growth. You just get on out of there, I think. Likewise with you, we don't want to put you in the blast radius by any means. Okay, stunned. Gonna come over here. What are you... You're not gonna hit us through that wall, are you? Or get bugged and not do anything to us? Well, I have tried my utmost to make this fortress fight me in a somewhat logical manner and have a challenge. More than would be natural. It's a wall! It's a wall, you idiots! Alright, do you have the brains? You're dashing, your action surgeons are gonna double dash or something. Okay, what are you gonna do? You're, wow. Much AI. Okay. Yeah, this is a very wasteful fight on both my side and the enemy's side. More so on theirs. Okay, Fist Calloway, come on. Dashing, yes, you're dashing toward the doorway. You're dashing toward, oh no, you're dashing toward a wall. Okay, maybe if I teleport back out, that will get them to come around the corner.
Tell me what you would do.
Alright, we're gonna have you disengage and get away. Quartermaster, all 7 hit points. Are you, like, do you think you're locked behind your own counter? No, they do have the key to see out from behind their counter. Okay, progress.
Down, dear.
Well, I think we need to have someone on like that side or whatever so that the guys in that room might come out. I don't know how we'll get over to them without getting wrecked by various obstacles. If I fired you back toward the doorway there, it would give us a somewhat better position, I guess.
And move.
It is not an invalid target, in fact. Out you go. Or like if I lob a smoke powder arrow out there, I can hurt him at least like that. It's very wasteful, but you know, eh. Oh, it made it blow up immediately. Okay. Why did that guy not take much damage? Okay. I could throw something at him and have someone fly out there, using a ton of flash blinders, basically. That it would be possible to maybe pull some of them out. And, well, there are not many things I won't do for a challenge. So, out we go, burning resources on this resource conservation run so that I can make more enemies fight me.
Recovery in progress. Citizens, do not be alarmed. Recovery in progress. Citizens, do not be alarmed.
Okay, we've got them coming, and hopefully these guys will now be like, oh yeah, there's a target over there.
Yes.
You know, we'll see.
Onward.
I think that's where I want. Nope, apparently not. Clumsy me. Would you like some extra movement speed next turn? Sure you would. Ooh, you as a teleporter are a good option for getting some free damage on... Go! Okay, fine. Don't go. Well, you know, critical hit at least is appreciated. Well, you don't have teleportation, so you might take some damage, but if you fly in the right pattern, you won't, from what we saw. So let's at least try it. Come on. Ah, you did. Okay. But we go for our free hit there, at least. And then you can back on over there.
Let's cook with fire, baby.
Well, we saw the smoke powder bomb did not work when I thought it would. I could, like, void bulb you into the spikes or whatever. Is that something that I actually want to do? Would that benefit me overall? I'm being so wasteful here. I can fly. What am I doing? Yes, I could void bulb you around the corner where you're easier to hit for people. Well, that was not anticipated. I didn't see her in there. But it's okay. It worked all right. She didn't get pulled through the fire. She might, though, if she does that. So, okay, fine. We're going to burn another Misty Step to avoid burning a Karlach.
Tactical.
Where do I go?
Being so weird and goofy in this battle. Alright. Yeah, you can do some ice blasts. I think you'll stay at range. We'll just do range pokes rather than try to slip past that into melee. Likewise with you, you can do your fire blasts. A lot of misses, okay. You're doing fine. I could recast it technically for a little bit more damage. I'm not going to. Dash, come on. Come on, you know you want to... Yes, you're going toward the door. Okay, we've got them coming this way. At least that one. They don't seem to know the layout of their own fortress very well, is what I'm seeing here, I guess. Okay, do you now understand the concept that there is a door, and you can dash through the door and come out to me? Yeah, seems like he's got it. Okay.
Are they going to arrest us?
starting to think it would have been faster if I just steamrolled them room by room, because they're not coordinating, and it's been... Oh good, reinforcements, that'll be interesting. It's been difficult to get them to fight, like, together at all. But this seemed like a fun, cool, challenging battle that people would not normally do. And if the AI worked, it would be. Alright, come on, 7 HP Quartermaster. I believe in you. Would an error of many targets bounce through those guys? It might. It just might. It might also bounce over to there, which would be pretty useless, but yeah, we'll see. It bounced over to there, which is pretty useless. Okay, what if I shoot one over there? There we go. That gives him invisibility is what I was going for there. You're gonna just hex the guy. Yeah, no, we'll lose concentration of that once this fight ends when they go across to Baldur's Gate. You're gonna just poke, poke, poke.
Go for the throat.
Can you, Elemental, hit the two of them? Hey, good damage too. Okay. I might also see if I can get into this side room, maybe, and do some fighting over there, after perhaps taking out these two. That's both of them, right? Yeah. That one should start explode mode. There we go. But not that guy. That is fine. This should be okay for now. I think reinforcements will show up, but not like immediately. So that's okay. You can maybe...
Let's move.
I think they've been called, so I think shooting you now won't end the reinforcements, so we will go ahead and do that. Sure, down you go. And then we'll close that door, because enemies often struggle with doors. That might give us a chance to have Astarion slip away. And be able to rejoin. Oh, he can fly. What am I doing? Be able to rejoin later on. Okay. You're wasting your turn. Okay, you blow up. We'll pass. Alright, you are going to dash. Which way are you going to go? Good, I think. Kind of. Glad to have some action coming that way. Okay, we've got good armor class helping us out there. We had things like shield ready to go for her too. That's fine, as long as they are coming over this way to join battle. Nice. Okay, keep dashing toward that door, you tiny dwarf. Oh, he's become fully hostile. He's probably about a regular-sized dwarf, really. But I won't get him to come over here if I give him taunts like, "Come over here, you average-sized dwarf." Another dwarf. Hey, rock for brains. Decisions. Okay, well, reinforcements have not appeared as I thought they might. I'm not really sure whether and when there are reinforcements here, to be honest. What I am sure about is that I want to take out that Steel Watcher. And Astarion is the man for the job with his main action force damage attacks there. I could do an arrow construct slaying. Is that a waste here? Should I save that for the Titan? Oh no, I've got tons of them. Construct slaying it is. And then we will see if I can take down that guy. Well, so much for non-lethaling that guy. Okay. Are we down to just these couple guys here, basically? Yeah, okay. There's not too much left to do in that case. I think we can probably end the walls of fire and things like that and get on out there to join battle at this point. Wait, there is a Steel Watcher over there that I completely forgot about. How silly of me. Okay. Well, you are a melee guy and you're slow, so that's probably gonna be okay. I don't want to push you. So we'll turn off Repelling Blast, and we'll go for that shot, and stack some damage on him. Pretty good. Then we'll just run over there, so the slowpokes probably can't get to us. Any moment now, he's going to... Oh, Woodwood, you get a chance to shine. Well, to be kind of dull-colored and brown. Okay, out you guys go. No one's in range, so you explode, okay. You're gonna have to dash around that corner, which you're slow at, both in terms of thinking speed apparently, and also in terms of getting anywhere geographically. I think we can pass on the skeletons for now, and you can join in. Over you go, we'll go for a blind. We got it, how nice. We even critical, doing 1 damage instead of 1 damage. Okay, well let's have the uncontrollable damage dealt first. You're not wet, so you won't take doubles, that's fine. So we'll soften you guys up like that and see what's left. Triple miss on the blinded guy. That was improbable, but okay. So you fly over there. We probably don't want to do more than like 2 shots at you. So you get, we'll go with 1 even to keep it safe, and you get 2. Okay. What are your odds to kill? If I turn off this Wrathful Smite and just smack you, you'll probably live. Oh yeah, you'll definitely live the way things are going here. Okay, Astarion can only knock people out with his main hand. So we're going to turn that off. Your offhand would do... probably not a kill. We will not go for the sneak attack. We will turn on non-lethal. Now I just need to get someone next to him and do a melee.
I thirst for combat.
91%. I like those odds. 1 down. Okay. Getting better.
yes.
Well, an epic, albeit rather silly battle there. I had fun with it. What can we do to knock this guy out too?
The dance of death.
You're a pretty bad archer. How about you go for that? That looks promising, although the electric water doesn't so much. But ice might work. There we go. I think that will give me a chance to save the guy's life. And then shoot him with Spell Thief. Sometimes saving people's life takes a roundabout path that goes through the afterlife, briefly. Okay. Well, that was an experience. I guess I'll probably pick up looting everything next time and get on into Baldur's Gate after that finale here in all the pre-city content. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, everyone, and a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, the Irreverent Reverend, Master Knight DH, Jackie, and Lino, Travis, Andrew Curzon, Troobsy, Oliver, Croniche, Jago, DK in DK, Gregory, Broken Box, Jenna M, Just Becca, Jack, Marcus the Carcass, Nubiana, Discord Colossus, Nicholas Schmuck, Kostya Nesterovich, Frederick Broom, Robin, Stefan Van Zyl, Eddie, Mina, Ali Kasamoglu, Skylar Sauce, Nick Myers, Emp Ninjas, Previn A, Chupatan, Diabetic Cat, Marvin Fay, Max, Afro Zamurai, Step Back Too Deadly, Lodestone, Pickmars, Brad, IJ23, Federico Lopez Dato, Kevin Ditchai, Silent, Eldritch, Jake Watson, and a name that starts with sword emojis. Have a great day, everyone.